on Saturday's afternoon or midday contest. We left off when we last met. We ended up 19 wins, 16 losses. That was Saturday morning's games. 54.29% with one money line victory. So we're going to pick it up from where we left off and take it up to current, and then we'll do a third wrap up later tonight. So Cleveland State hosts an IUPUI, and that score, as you might imagine, was lopsided in Cleveland State's direction, 83-45. And so that's a win and a cover. As soon as we update here, yeah, I don't want to go by a ton. Yeah, so win and a cover for Cleveland State. Next, North Carolina State on the road at Pitt, laying half a point. And this was Pittsburgh's day, 71-69 Pitt. So we had North Carolina State, and that was a loser. Western Illinois hosting North Dakota. 12.5 was line. And it's only 12.5 because Western Illinois used to be good, and suddenly they're mysteriously awful. Because North Dakota is really a bad team, but I bet you they're going to struggle with them. And they did. Western Illinois 70-68, very unimpressive. And nothing at all like the team we were accustomed to prior to whatever mysterious thing made them bad. But they're not good. And I think in one of my videos, I did hereby proclaim Western Illinois to be a bad team. I believe I did that. So that just reinforces that. So that's another loss. And we go 2 and 3 on that string. Darken this in. I got a little code I'm working on here that it tells me stuff like have I entered the score or not entered the score. Sam Houston at Chicago State laying 9.5. And Sam Houston went 72-59. And did that cover? Well, 10 would be 69. So yeah, that covered. So another win. And there. I've actually secretly already entered all of these scores. Wherever the line is black, that score's been entered. So that's my code. And you guys just cracked it. Texas State on the road to UL Monroe, laying 3.5. Doesn't mean I remember what happened. Texas State wins 63-54. So that's a win and a cover. And we move on. Louisiana hosting UT Arlington, laying 5.5. We took the dog because we said it would be a 4-point game. And the final score on this one is UT Arlington wins 80-77. So the dog is the automatic winner here. And we're 4-0 on this string. Bowling Green at Miami of Ohio, getting a half a point. We say Bowling Green wins the game, so it's a money line play. And final score, Bowling Green 78, Miami of Ohio 94. Loss, about as ugly as a loss as you can imagine. We do go 4-1 on this string, which is positive. Let's get that updated here. Oops. 4-1. And we 25 wins, 20 losses, 55.56. So a little bit of a gain on where we were. Michigan State at home to Indiana, laying 4.5. We say Indiana was going to go up to Michigan State and get us a victory. And did that happen? No, it didn't happen. It's 61-76 Michigan State. And Indiana just said, that's far. We're tired. We're not going to play hard. And that's just it. And something tells me Bobby Knight wouldn't let that crap. He wouldn't let the kids go away with that crap. Houston at home to Memphis, laying 9.5. Houston coming off a loss at SMU, and I would hate to be the team that played them next, if you know what I mean. Final score, Houston loses 59-69. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That's a problem, Houston. I didn't go for the obvious joke there, right? Obvious jokes kind of below. I didn't go for it. But I think there is a problem in Houston. I don't know what it is, but they've lost 2 in a row. And, we got Houston highly rated, like top 5 good. And they are, I mean, but maybe these are the dog days of winter, is what I'm calling them. And golly, just getting through this schedule is a grind. And I feel for the kids, but you got to show a little bit more heart. Okay, next up, Ohio on the road, Eastern Michigan laying 9.5. We say Ohio wins big, 22 points, and the final score, Ohio 74-56. Pretty dang close to that predicted score. So that's a win. Pretty dang close. And text color is now shaded black. And VMI hosting Citadel, laying 7.5. We say it's a 7-point win, so we're taking the dogs, the Citadel. And the Citadel wins the game, 79-83. The Citadel. We back into a victory there. And next up is Alcorn State hosting Bethune-Cookman, laying 7.5. We say a 6-point victory here. So we're taking Bethune-Cookman, and Bethune-Cookman won the game. So it's 63-71, Bethune. So 63-71. And Bethune-Cookman was the correct play here. And that makes that gives us a string here of 3-2. So there's some encouragement here, plus 500, followed up a little plus 500. And computer's now 28-22 on the day, 56%. A little bit of encouragement. Oregon hosting Cal, 13.5 was the line. We said it'd be a 12-point game. And Cal beat Oregon at Oregon. So we backed into another victory here. Wish we had the money line, but we did not. And so that's a win for the computer. And we move on. We march forward. Princeton at home to Dartmouth, laying 6.5. We say Princeton wins by 9. And Princeton wins 85-40. So they win by 45. And so that's a good pick for the computer. And Howard at home to Delaware State, laying 19.5. We say Howard beats Delaware State by more than that. We say 27. And final score, Howard wins 86-72. So we did not cover. That's a loss. Kentucky hosting Florida. I have just an inkling here. Florida is like, we cannot compete with Kentucky at Kentucky, so we're not going to play hard. That's just my thought that this is going to be how this goes. And yeah, Kentucky 78-57. It's not hard to figure out once you kind of get it. Indiana said, nah, Michigan State at their place, that's a bridge too far. You can't, so they go up there and lay an egg, and, nobody cares. Don't seem to care. Nobody seems to hold these kids accountable. Appalachian State hosting Georgia State, laying 1.5. And final score was Georgia State wins 58-49. So it's a loss, 49-58. A loss for the computer. And it looks like I go 3-2 on this string to keep that plus 500 momentum going. 3-2. Now these scores have not been entered, so I'm not going to change the font. I got to go back and do it. I'm sorry. These I have entered this. Virginia hosting Georgia Tech. The line is 9.5. We say 8, so we're taking Georgia Tech. And final score is Virginia 63, Georgia Tech 53. So 63 to 53. They won by 10. So they covered. And that's a loss. Virginia Tech won and covered that by that half a point. Iowa State at home to Kansas State, 4.5 is the line. We said 3, and Kansas State won the game. Iowa State 69, K State 75. We took dog. That's a good play. And yeah, I know I entered these, so we're gonna make them all black. But this one I know. Saddle U and Lamar. Let's see. 16.5 is the line. We say 24-point victory. Lamar is 0-20. Okay. So they're not very good. And the final score is 76 to 50. Look at that predicted score. So that's a 26-point victory. So that's good on you, Settle You. And I've not entered that score. Longwood at North Carolina A&T, laying 3.5. We say Longwood beats them big by 15. Final score: Longwood loses 62 to 70. So that's a loss for the computer. Longwood's pretty good. That's why we had them on the road beating North Carolina A&T. But, it just didn't go that way today. McNeese at Northwestern State, laying, Northwestern State at home to McNeese, laying half a point. We say McNeese wins the game. It's a money line. Final score: McNeese wins the game 80 to 75. So money line converted. And we had another converted money line. Let's go find that and just borrow on their format so we don't have to create the whole thing again. Where is our money line? There it is. Okay, so that's money line victory number 2 on the day. Oops, back up. There we go. So we're going to update this string. We went 3 and 2 again. So more plus 500. Now we have to go update our money line. So there's 1, now there's 2. Okay. Lots of games on Saturday, man. This is why I'm doing 3. I'm doing 3 streams just to keep up. Mount St. Mary's at St. Francis of PA, laying 3.5. We say Mount St. Mary's wins by 6, and the 4 was 54-52 Mount St. Mary's. So they do not cover, and that's a loss. That is a loss. Murray State, who's ranked by some folks, I don't have them like in the top 25, but Murray State's a great team. But Morehead State at home, and Murray State on the road laying 2.5 to Morehead. I don't know why that confused me. Final score: Murray State 57-53. So the sign of a good team is they can other good teams home court and beat them and cover the spread. So folks, look into Murray State. That Ohio Valley, Murray State and Belmont is going to be a really great ending, I think, because they're both very evenly matched. UNC Asheville on the road at USC Upstate. It's a pick-em, and we have Asheville winning by 4. And what happened here? Asheville smoked them 83 to 56. So that's a pick-em, huh, Vegas? Okay. Good call, Vegas. That's a win for the computer. New Mexico State at Utah Valley, laying 2.5. We say New Mexico State wins by 4 on the road, and New Mexico State loses 68 to 72. Utah Valley's pretty good. I kind of saw that coming to some degree, but I still, New Mexico State's a really good team too. But home court, we don't factor in home court, which sounds dumb, but there's valid reasons why we don't. I've explained in the past. East Tennessee State hosting Samford. 4.5 is the line. We say it's only a 2-point victory for East Tennessee. And final score was 7. Oh, Samford wins. So 77-73 Samford. So 73-77. And that is a victory for the computer. And we go 3-2 again. Let's check in on how we're doing. We're just inching up. 37 wins, 28 losses, 57%. So we're not setting the world on fire, but we are improving. And as I've mentioned in the past, we're waiting on neutral courts to hit. So that's your conference tournaments and the postseason tournaments. And yes, there's more than one. In fact, there's like 4. Coppin State at home, 1.5. We say South Carolina State wins the game. Money line play. And South Carolina State won the game 66-58. Money line converted. And if you don't know what the money line is, you get more money on your bet in return. You're picking the underdog to win the game. Okay. And these are actually 2 plays that we're doing here. We're doing the conventional bet, right? Like we do here. On a conventional bet, let's say this game, we bet $100 Murray State would win and cover. And when they do, we get $100. We get our original $100 back plus 100. Okay, it's 2-1. In fact, I bet you this was a big payoff because they were dogs by 6.5. On the money line, if it converts, there is a onion line, okay, and it could be 105, it could be 110, it could be 115. In this case, boy, I bet you it was more along the lines of, and I'm trying to look it up. I bet you this game was more along the lines of 150. So you bet 100, you get your original 100 back, plus you get 150 back. So let's see what this money line was. And this was South Carolina State and Coppin. This should only take a moment. Ooh, 230. Man, so if we bet $100, we get 330 back. That's why we like these money lines, and we're good at them. That's the thing. So well-earned, well-spent time there going over that. South Dakota at Denver, laying 3.5. South Dakota team. Final score is 84-76 South Dakota. So winning a cover, and we're on fire, kind of. Kind of. That's another win. Florida Gulf Coast at home hosting Stetson, laying 7.5. I think it's going to be, we say 11. I bet you it's way more than that because good team and not so good team. And it's a 7-point victory for Florida Gulf Coast, 89-82. And Stetson wins the play, and we completely missed it. But Stetson is hard to figure out. They can be terrible. And then they do this. It's a good team. Southern Utah at Sacramento State, laying 7.5. Southern Utah wins 83-57. Sacramento State's just not competitive in Division I college basketball. They're just not. And I don't remember the last time they even had a decent basketball team, to be quite honest with you. So that's a win and a cover. Texas Tech at home to TCU, 10.5. And we say TCU is going to lose by less than 10.5. We say 10, so we're right at that half point. And let's see what the final score was. Texas Tech smoked them 82-69. So Texas Tech covers. We had the dog, and we go 3-2 again. What is that, like our 4th 3-2 string in a row? Nichols hosting Texas A&M Corpus Christi, laying 5.5. We say it's going to be a 2-point, but this is the Southland, and I'm not good at the Southland. Nichols wins 83-80. So that was the exact correct play. I'm still not good at the Southland. The Southland is way too unpredictable. And these teams are in that conference, the Southland. So that's a win. UC Riverside on the road to UC San Diego, laying 4.5. Is this game on right now? No, it's a final. San Diego wins 85-62. And we had Riverside, so that's a loss. Pretty bad loss, too. Missouri State hosting Valparaiso, 11.5 line, Missouri State by 16. And Missouri State wins 84-66. Man, there's been a lot of that today. Just big point spreads, just blowout victories. Did we cover that 11.5? Yeah, I think so. 18. So that's a win for us. So Vegas has George Mason at home laying 1.5 to VCU. We think VCU is a better team and will win on the road. And the final score, and it's a money line play. VCU killed them 85-70. That's our third money line, I think. It's another money line victory. Now that one's not going to pay 230 like that one, like on 6, because it's only a 1.5 point spread. But it's still really nice to win these things. And I will never complain about winning a money line. So let's go update that manually. And I don't know what's happening with my voice. I don't have a drink nearby. I had to have a little water if I. Okay, that's better. Western Kentucky at home to UTSA. The question is not if, it's by how many, because good team and really good football team. 9-ounce line, we say 20. Western Kentucky wins 71-65. Wow, only a 6-point victory. And that's a loss for the computer. And we go, you guessed it, 3-2 again. 3-2. James Madison, let's check, where are we? So 43 wins, 32 losses, 57%. James Madison hosting William & Mary. The line's 9.5, we say 15. And final score here was 69-55 James Madison. So 69-55. So that should be a 14-point victory. And so that would be a win and a cover for JMU. Money line opportunity we have, and I don't think this one's going to pay. This is strange. North Alabama, typically we have the away team on the money line because Vegas believes so strongly in home court advantage. But in this case, North Alabama is at home, getting 3.5 from Bellarmine, and we say North Alabama wins the game. So that's unusual. Final score, Bellarmine 75-69. So we were wrong. We did get that top line number, right? So that's a loss, and we were still in the conventional play, but they covered that 3.5. So that's just a loss and a complete waste of time. Texas Southern hosting Grambling, laying 6.5. We say 14, so Texas Southern's our play, and Texas Southern won by 3, 68-65. I'm not good at the Southland. Two more Southland teams. Texas Southern's numbers are way better than Grambling, and they're at home, and they only win by 3. It makes no sense, and that's just the Southland. The Southland, I'm sorry, that's the SWAC. That's the Southwest Athletic Conference. But the Southwest Athletic, the Southland, and the MEAC I just can't get them right. Marquette on the road at Butler laying 3.5. We think Marquette's going to win the game. Final score, Marquette 79, Butler 85. And so that is not a converted money line. And Butler covered on the conventional play. And we are not going to go 3-2 this string. Winthrop at home hosting Presbyterian, 6.5 a line. We say we take them Winthrop, and final score, Winthrop 65-61. 65-61, so that they did not cover. And did I spell that right? That's not right. Winthrop. And that's a lot. Well, 1 and 4 this string. Yeah. That's not going to help us. Oh boy. So we're gonna hold off on checking Vegas now. Let's go take care. 44 and 36. So we bounced down to 55%. All right, let's bounce back up again. UT Martin hosting or at Eastern Illinois, laying 6.5. We say team because they're not a good team. Yeah, final score is Eastern Illinois wins 70 to 82. I think that's Eastern Illinois' second victory on the year. And if you're UT Martin, you should be hanging your head in shame because rarely competitive. That's a generous statement. SIU Edwardsville hosting Tennessee Tech. Tennessee Tech laying 2.5. Tennessee Tech wins by 4. And SIU Edwardsville won. So we're hitting a rough patch here, 60 to 61. So that's another loss. And a rough patch indeed. Toledo, probably the best team in the Mid-America. And Northern Illinois, and there's some bad teams in the Mid-America Conference. Northern Illinois is among them. But it was at their place. So the line is 12.5. We say 24. And final score, Toledo 100 to 72. So that's a win and a cover. Right, they won by, what is that, 18? So win and a cover. 28, that's a 28-point win. Yeah, Northern Illinois is just not a good basketball. And Toledo is. Troy hosting Little Rock laying 12.5. We say 17, so we're taking Troy. And Troy loses 62 to 66. And boy, 2 really bad strings in a row. Ugh. It just happens sometimes. Belmont at Southeast Missouri State laying 12.5. We say 23. Belmont's really good. And Belmont wins 81-72. So I don't think they covered. I think that's an 11. No, that's a 9-point victory. So that's a loss. Wow. Back to back 1 and 4 things. It's tough to take. 1 and 4. Ugh. That's 2-8 over the last 10 games. That is 20%. Or no, it's not even that. 45 wins, 40 losses, down to 53%. All right, let's turn it around. Jacksonville State hosting Central Arkansas, laying 17.5, and we say 21. And Jacksonville State lost. I'll be damned. No kidding. Wow. 62 to 72. Jacksonville State at home, a 17-point favorite, loses to the traveling Central Arkansas. Did anyone make any sense of that? Loses by 10. Wow. That's just perplexing. Colgate on the road at Loyola, Maryland, laying 5.5. We say Colgate wins by 9, and Colgate wins 64 to 56. So I don't think they cover here. I think that's an 8-point. No, yeah, 8-point victory, and they do cover. They do cover. Yeah, they do cover. Okay, all right. So that's a victory. Duke at St. College laying 12.5. We're saying Duke wins 72-61 is the final, and wouldn't you know, it's an 11-point victory. So that is a loss. Eastern Kentucky at Lipscomb laying 1.5, and we say Eastern Kentucky wins by 8. Final score, Lipscomb wins. Boy, Lipscomb wins by 10. Man, golly, we are just getting our ass kicked. Southeast Louisiana State. And here's a Southland game, which I don't get right often. Southeast Louisiana State hosting Houston Baptist. They're a terrible team. Okay, they're a terrible team. 7.5 the line. We say 12. And Houston Baptist should have no way. They should not be competitive in this game. And the final score is 89-84. And just terrible with the Southland. Nothing makes sense there. We had 3, 1, and 4 strings. Wow. That might be a first. Come on, Eastern Washington, save us, please. Eastern Washington hosting Idaho State, 10.5 line. We like EWU here, and Eastern Washington only wins by 3. The bleeding just continues. It just continues. Yeah. We're just falling apart here. Alabama A&M hosting Mississippi Valley State. It's a Southwest Conference, the SWAC. So I'm bound to get it wrong. 8.5 line, we say 12. And where is this game? Alabama A&M and Mississippi Valley State. No, it's not in order here, so it's probably still playing. All right, let's look for. Okay, it is. Oh, it just ended, and Alabama A&M wins by 2, 94-92, and it's just another loss. Just another loss. Austin Peay, not good. On the road at Tennessee State, not good. Laying 3.5. We say Austin Peay wins by 1, so we're taking Tennessee State. And Austin Peay wins by 2, 54-52. And they fail to cover. And then, man, that's a well-earned victory right there. Back into the Southland, New Orleans. Pretty game, playing Incarnate Word, pretty bad team. 9.5. We say it's 15. Tell me Incarnate Word won the game. I just know they did. No, 84-57 in New Orleans. God, something finally makes sense. UMass Lowell is at home to UMBC, and they're laying 2.5, and we think UMBC wins the game. So it's a money line. There goes the voice again, and Lowell wins 88-71. It's ugly. Just ugly. Just really awful today. I mean, what is it, 2 and 3 or below 500 here? That take us to, well, we're one game above 500. We were, 57%. Oh God, man, that was just a really bad run right there. Weber State at Idaho. This game may be in progress. 10.5 line. We got Weber winning by 19. And Weber lost to Idaho. Unbelievable. Weber is such a better team than Idaho. God. Final score, 79-83. Again with that top line number. But another loss. All right, South Dakota State, come save us, please, because they're really good and they're terrible. 24.5 line. South Dakota State hosting Omaha. There's no reason for them not to cover that 24.5. South Dakota State wins 82-61. 82-61. So that's like a 21-point victory. So they don't cover. It's a loss. Alabama State hosting Arkansas Pine Bluff in another Southwest Conference affair. And, God, we got Alabama State laying 8.5 at home to a really bad Arkansas Pine Bluff. They should have no shot in this game. And Arkansas Pine Bluff won. Of course they did. 70-75. And ouchie chumama. Now, just money line play here. Duquesne hosting Fordham, laying 2.5. And final score. Fordham wins 65-54. So that's a money line. I think, I love them. I love the money lines. But at this point, I think all may be lost for the day. But we're gonna take our money line for sure. I got to do something here. these show up as that. To me means I've entered the score, and I don't want to buffalo myself into thinking that. So I'm going to make it real clear that I've not entered this score, and I've not entered that previous money line score. I need to do that too. So this is ugly, but and I'm going to do this one just in case I haven't entered that, because I don't think I have. All right. It's real important we get these games entered because that's where we draw our info from. Radford hosting or on the road to Hampton, laying 2.5. Hampton's bad. And Radford wins 60-54. So 2.5 line, we win and cover here. And we go 3 again. It's better than 1 and 4, but not by much. So we should be right up, straight up even 500 right now. If we check this, I bet you we are. And we are 50 wins, 50 losses. Yow. That's not, normally Saturdays were pretty good. Kennesaw hosting North Florida, laying 5.5. We say Kennesaw wins by 9. Final score, Kennesaw loses by 2. It's nothing makes sense today. Nothing. Kennesaw at home, 5.5 point favorite, loses the game. Just that doesn't make sense. Arizona at Washington, 14.5 is the line. We say Arizona just absolutely throttles the Dogs up there. And this game might still be. Yeah. Oh no, it's a final. Yeah, they do 92-68 Arizona. Yeah, that's an embarrassment at home. And secretly I love it because I'm not a fan of UW. Just not a fan. Campbell at High Point, laying 2.5. We're taking Campbell because we say it's going to be 4. And High Point is coming off of a win, and it was a good win. But then they do what High Point does, and they lose by a bunch. So Campbell, 60-42. And hey, we got the ship pointed in the right direction here. This one, I really believe Vautech's the play here, but computer at half point says Syracuse is the play. So Vautech at home, laying 7.5 to Syracuse. We say the Syracuse is the play, and Vautech wins 71-59. And that's a win and a cover, but we had the Dogs, so that's a loss for us. Liberty at Jacksonville, laying 4.5. We say by 10. Liberty's a good team, and Liberty loses 69-73. Oh, there's nothing makes sense today. And we go 2 and 3 again. Man, I wouldn't give for 3 and 2 at this moment. Richmond at home to LaSalle. 13.5 was the line. We say it's a 13-point ball game, so we're taking LaSalle. And I think this one just finished. And Richmond wins 77-63 for a 14-point victory. Yeah, that just happened. Half a point. Man, half a point. Man, that's tough. Ohio State at Michigan, laying 2.5. We think Ohio State wins by 1, but this could be a game where Ohio State just sits out. You know what I mean? Like, we're here, we're all dressed up, but don't expect anything out of us. Actually, Ohio State won 68-57. So you keep your expectations low. That's a money line conversion. So let's go get we're going to keep this format with the yellow there so we make sure we enter this game. Money line converted. And let's update that manually. That's number 4 on the day. We've had this was a Saturday. It was 12. We had 12. We had another one that there was 12. I think there was another Saturday we had 14 money line. Yeah, here's another one, 14. So we're not operating on the same clip, but we're still getting them. They're still coming. San Francisco at Santa Clara. I'd be surprised if this was a final. It's 6:12 out here on the West Coast as I record this. San Francisco is a really good team, and it is a final. And they roll into Santa Clara, another good team, and they win 74-58. Impressive. 74-58. That's just impressive. Man, San Francisco. If there's three teams coming out of the West Coast Conference, typically in the past, it'd be Gonzaga, St. Mary's, and BYU. Not this year. If they get three in, it's going to be San Francisco, who beat BYU at BYU by like 10. I mean, they're just a good team. SMU on the road at East Carolina, laying 6.5. We're taking SMU. And SMU wins 80-66. So encouraging things, 3 wins in a row. Is that right? This is a MEAC game. I always get these wrong. Norfolk State hosting Maryland Eastern Shore, 10.5. We say they win by 11. So Norfolk State is our play. And final score, 70-63, a 7-point victory, and that's not enough. 70-63, so that half-point clip this here again, and we go 3-2. What I wouldn't get for 3-2, I just said that. And it was delivered. So 3-2, I think takes us back to 500 on the day. And yep, 55-55. Okay, Tennessee hosting Vanderbilt. Tennessee wins 73-64. It was an 11-point line, but they only win by 9. And so that's a loss. Providence hosting DePaul, 9.5 the line. All pretty good. I'm not completely sold on this bet, but we're taking DePaul. And 76-73 Providence. So that's a good play. So DePaul was the correct play. And I'm actually kind of proud of the computer for that because I didn't see that either. I thought Providence would really have it away with them. Jackson State hosting Florida A&M, 3.5 the line. We say it's a 2-point victory for Jackson State, so we're taking Florida A&M, and this is another SWAC affair. And Jackson State wins by 4, you bastards, 60-56. Oh my God, half a point. Ah, man, half a damn point. Hofstra on the road at laying half a point. This is one I gave myself no room. We say it's a 1-point victory, which covers a half a point. So Hofstra is our play, and the odds of this coming through. Well, Hofstra won 80-66. So that half point saved us that time, didn't it? We always forget about the time that half point saved us, but here it did. Southern in another SWAC game. Southern U at Prairie View A&M. No reason in the world to expect Southern U to not win by 14 and cover this measly 1.5. Like, come on, man. And they lost. Of course they lost. It's a SWAC, 77-84. Just when you think you got it all figured out, you go 2-3 again. It's ugly. Really an ugly day. South Alabama hosting Arkansas State. That's 5.5. We say they win by 6. And final score, South Alabama 70-51. So it's a win and a cover. And thank God. Woo. We need every victory here on out. Marist hosting Canisius, 6.5 is the line. We say 10, so more play, and Marist won by 1, 71-70. So that's a loss. Charleston at UNC Wilmington. UNC Wilmington laying a 1.5. We think Charleston wins the game. money. Oh, we have 3 money line opportunities here in a row. So, and that game is still in progress with a minute left, and it's Wilmington 84-79. Central Michigan at Western Michigan, really 2 bad teams, but they're not as bad as Western Michigan is. But they're getting half a point. We say Central Michigan wins the game, and I don't know how Central or Western. Okay, it's C. Dotman. And Western Michigan won the game. It was 63-77. So that money line did not pay off. That's a loss. Hartford at NJIT, another money line play. Vegas has NJIT laying half a point. We say Hartford wins by half a point. What do you want to bet? This wasn't even a close game. Yeah, and it wasn't. Hartford wins 65-49. So we do convert our money line play, which is good, and we get a win, which is good. And so that's a good play. You know, we got there a weird way. That's still a good play. And we like it when it's a good play for us. So right now we're sitting at 2-2. I'm not gonna update that string until I get all 5. It's just a weird thing about me. Purdue Fort Wayne hosting Illinois Chicago. And this is a final in Purdue Fort Wayne 73-66. The line was 4.5. We have Purdue Fort Wayne, and they won and they covered. But like we know what we're doing on that game. Like we know exactly what we're doing. This one's tough. Clemson hosting Notre Dame. They're very evenly matched. Clemson laying 2.5. We say it's a 1-point victory for Clemson. And Notre Dame typically does show up to play, and they did on this day. They beat Clemson 76-61. So, wow. So that's a win for the computer. Vermont, who just is cruising. They're just in cruise mode. A really good team. Really stuck in a bad league. But at Albany, laying 12.5. Vermont has had very little adversity. And Vermont wins 76-63 here. And 13-point. And that is a win by the half a point, which we always forget about. But not me. I'm going to savor that. Wofford hosting Western Carolina, 14.5 the line. We say 17, and Wofford wins 69-57 for a 12-point victory, which is not enough. So that goes down as a loss and breaks our little hot run we're on here. Abilene Christian at Tarleton, laying half a point. We say Abilene wins by 5. And what happened here? There's 12 minutes left in this game, so we're not close here. I don't think any more of these games have gone final. Cincinnati, Tulsa, still in action. Actually, they might. Let's check them. San Diego State and Air Force. That sounds like a 7 a.m. tip. No, but they're still in progress. Cincinnati, Tulsa, we already know. How about Drake and Bradley? That sounds like a game that could be over. No, it doesn't tip. Oh, wait a minute. It says 5 p.m. tip. It's 6:21. And my phone's going to ring any minute now because I'm supposed to be having some prime rib and then going over to my buddy's John's to watch the Gonzaga play. Drake and Bradley, where are we at? And that game starts at 7. So we wanted to get the prime rib going, and there's still a ton of time. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to wrap things up for now. I'll come back and do a third video later today. We're under 500. What a miserable day. Under 500, 57 wins, 58 losses. We do have the 4 money line victories, but really disappointing Saturday so far. There's still a bunch of games left to enter, but not happy with where we're at right now. So I'm going to end this, and I'll check with you later. So until then, I will now bid you an adieu.